Okay, as y'all can see, we're going to be talking about how important it is to take responsibility. Okay, we are going to let go of the blame game. Okay, so I just want to welcome everyone on here. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Gailyn. I go by Chef Gailyn. I am a certified holistic nutritionist and dietary health coach. I'm also a brand ambassador for Savvy. Okay, so if y'all have any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave those below. And if you're watching the replay, you can also go to my link below and the link in my bio to get more information or to contact me. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about taking responsibility and why that's important if you really want to live the life you want to live. Okay, this is huge. I can only speak about Americans, but we tend to put blame on everybody and everything. We will blame the weather, the sky, the roads, the air, the flowers, the grass. We do not like to take responsibility. So that is why I really wanted to share this, because when I realized that this was my roadblock, this is why I wasn't getting where I was trying to get in life. When I realized that and I broke through it and I said, no, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to quit putting blame on everyone else. This is when my life took off to a whole nother level. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. When you take responsibility for your own personal life and your decisions and the things that have happened to you, like within reason, right? It is so powerful. Because then what it does is it releases you to actually go out and get done what you need to get done, and you don't have those limiting beliefs, okay? So a lot of you all know I wrote this book, Divinely Inspired Action. It's all about reprogramming your subconscious mind for a great purpose. And the reason I wrote this was because I grew up really religious, like super religious, okay? And everything was very, very, very cookie cutter. So I'm talking like not necessarily having a relationship with God, more or less like having all these different rules. It was always like thousands of rules, okay? And when you grow up like that, there's not a spiritual connection to anything. You're just trying to make it in this world. And you deal a lot with like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, suicidal thoughts. It's not a fun way to live, because you can never be flawless. Like, you can never be perfect. And the more you try to walk on the straight and narrow, you're being told that you're not walking straight enough or narrow enough. And you don't even know how much more you can do it. So now what I do, what I've learned through life, okay, going through many, many scenarios and circumstances, is that literally everything is mindset. Everything is mindset, okay? And a big part of mindset is really shutting down those limited beliefs. And one of those limited beliefs is putting blame on other people, blaming your parents or society or your religious circle or how you grew up for where you are today, instead of saying, okay, yes, that did happen to me. That wasn't a good scenario. But you know what? I'm here now and I can make a difference. I can make a change, and I can turn my pain into something that's going to help someone else. I'm not going to be defeated by it, okay? I think there's a worship song called something like, I don't know, something to do with ashes. I can't remember. Roses to ashes or ashes to rose. I don't know. But anyway, it's just very powerful. And I really believe that. I mean, how many testimonies do you hear from people who have gone from like the darkest times in their life, and they share it and they say, okay, I'm not going to live this way anymore. They hone in where they are there and now, and they say, instead of putting blame on other people for my past, no, it wasn't good, I forgive them. If I was involved in it, I forgive myself, and now I'm going to take responsibility and move forward. Okay, very powerful. Okay, so this is modular 3 in my book. If you are on my online digital course, it's a modular 3 on my course as well. Okay, every thought you release becomes a permanent part of your character. Okay, so anybody watch or listen to, okay, well, he's not even with us, but anybody read the book by Napoleon Hill, Think Rich, Grow Rich? Okay, very powerful, very powerful. That's one of his quotes. Okay, so here are 5 ways to take responsibility. 5 ways to take responsibility. All right, this is powerful, you all. You with me? Ready for this? Ready for a life change? Ready for a transformation? 1, quit placing blame on others. 2, believing you're helpless. 3, external, internal locus of control. I'm going to go over that. 4, take responsibility. 5, deciding you're a force that makes things happen. Like being confident within your own self and knowing that you are a rock star and you can make it happen. You know, and I just wanted to put a side note in right here. Like, none of us are perfect, okay? Like, if anybody knows me, I tend to offend people, like, not meaning to. It just comes out. And if someone doesn't hold me accountable for it, I literally don't know. And then I'm like, how come that person's not talking to me? Or how come they seem like more distant? Or how come they seem silent? And I really feel like when you take responsibility, that's what we're talking about, to have grace for other people. Don't just expect or assume people like are out to get you or out to hurt you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, especially if it's someone that's a friend that you're really close to or a family member that you love. I really believe people can sometimes be totally on the guard all the time. One of my close friends, he owns his own used cars. Yeah, okay. Used car lot. He owns his own used car lot. So he's a used car salesman. And you could tell, like, when he first started in the business, and now he owns his own lot, he would always like be on the defense because it's always like hustling. It's like trying to get the best deal on a vehicle, and someone's always trying to bring down the price of the vehicle. So like the mindset was like, you know, you'd go out and hang out and you'd be at dinner and be like, what do you mean by that? Why are you looking at me like that? Like, where is this coming from? And when you take responsibility for who you are, you really need to put that aside too and really look at your own self and be like, am I taking offense because of my past hurts? Or, I mean, is this person really trying to hurt me, or am I just misunderstanding? Or sometimes we do. We all have bad days, and maybe we do say something that's off the cuff out of maybe our own resentment or anger or bitterness that we have within inside of ourselves towards that person or towards a circumstance that could be surrounding the topic that you all are talking about. You know what I mean? So taking responsibility is just really looking within inside yourself, and either the person's going to receive it or not receive it. And if they do not receive your full apology, like, look, I really didn't mean it that way, and you try to explain and they still shut you down, I know it's hard, especially those that we love, but you do have to just let it go. So once you take responsibility for something and you apologize and you really put it out there, like, you didn't mean it like that, this is what you're trying to say, and if they still shut you down, this is what I always say, then they're not meant to be in your life at that moment. Not that they won't ever come back into your life, but sometimes God takes people out of our lives for a season while we can grow in a certain area, or maybe that they were just hindering you from really getting to where He wants you to be. You know, all of us evolve differently in different timings, and you really do have to protect your energy. I've even had people who I love very much say, oh my gosh, yeah, when you said that, it like it was like taking away my energy. And I think to myself, well, instead of just hanging up the phone on me or just ghosting me and not talking to me, why don't you say, like, hey girl, whoa, that didn't feel good, like that didn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like can't you trust someone well enough, if you're that good of friends or family members or whatever, like to be like, hey, whoa, that didn't feel good. You know, I felt like that was stealing my energy. That didn't feel good. I mean, can we all just start taking responsibility and just do that a little bit? Because nobody's perfect. And if you're like me and you just kind of like, you're really working on it, like this year, my one word was soothing, just to be more soothing, like not so hardcore, like, you know what I mean? Because I know I can be that way, but hey, call me out on it, right? Call me out on it. Let me know. We always hear this with women too. Like if you're a man, like we're always told as women, like men can't read our minds. They just can't do it. They cannot read our minds. So we need to tell them. We need to tell them what we need, what we want, why we're frustrated, why we're irritable. And that can go with all relationships, okay? Stop blaming others. Do you feel like a helpless victim of fate, controlled by outside forces? Think about that. Do you blame something or someone else for your problems? For instance, I never would have eaten that whole pint of ice cream, right? If my husband hadn't put it in front of my face. If this sounds like you, then you have an external locus of control. So external locus of control is putting blame on someone else. Like, oh, I ate this because he put it in front of me. Okay, I ate this because we went out to dinner and there was all the bread on the table and I'm trying to cut right now, and I ate it because the waitress put it in front of me. It is the waitress's fault. If this sounds like you, okay, you have an external locus of control, meaning that you believe your mindset is governed by outside forces, okay? So you believe things around you are what could create your mindset. Like, so that's why you don't take responsibility for it, because you blame it on the outside, right? The outside circumstances. Okay. He made me do it. She made me nervous. When you do that, you give your power over to someone else. Can I just... If you are listening to me right now, this has got to be one of the biggest things I have ever learned, okay, when I was going through the rough. I remember my sister-in-law said to me, so my sister-in-law, Delmy, she is a captain in the Navy. I was so angry about a circumstance. I mean, so angry. And let me tell you something. I had every right to be angry about this circumstance. Every right. If I told you what it was, you'd be like, yeah, 100%. But let me tell you something. When she said this to me, it shifted my thinking like so intensely that moment in time, I literally almost became a new person in the way that I project my life, the way I respond to people, the way I live my day-to-day, my moments by moments. Whoever angers you controls you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whoever angers you controls you. You all, I have woken up in the morning and been in the best mood and felt like such a freaking rock star. I'm going to crush this day. I'm going to fly with my children. I'm going to fly with my clients. I'm just going to get in there and make it happen. Someone can annoy me. I get a text, I get an email, I get a phone call, I find out about a circumstance, and it can trigger me to the point that I feel like I'm going to lose my freaking mind. Okay? We've all been there, right? But what happens when that circumstance happens is the more you focus on that and that person, they are the ones stealing your time. They're stealing your hours. They're stealing your time. I remember I was at this beautiful romantic dinner. Beautiful candles everywhere, my favorite wine. Like you could hear the ocean, right? You could hear the ocean. It was an amazing moment, right? And this person just was so angry. The person that I was sitting with during this time was so angry at somebody else that literally, though we were in the most gorgeous setting by the ocean, just beautiful, beautiful night, right? The most gorgeous setting. He just kept going on and on about one of his workers, that just got under his skin and he was so angry. And I'm like thinking, so I practice this, right? So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we can talk about it for a few minutes like this. I don't say it, but I'm thinking it. And then we need to move on to a happier subject, because look at our environment. Like, look where we are. Like, let's enjoy this. Like, let's find a place of joy and happiness, and let our serotonin and endorphins and oxytocin just go crazy wild, right? Like, let's do that, right? They kept going on and on and on about this person that was making them angry, that literally I was like, can we stop this conversation? So finally the conversation ended, okay? But you could tell it ended with me, okay? But you could tell that other person, it was still in their head. That person was still controlling them in their head. Like they couldn't let it go. And it was almost like I was just sitting there by myself, right? And so I just finally just got up and did the dishes and then just kind of enjoyed the outside by myself, because though someone might stop talking about something, though you might stop talking about a topic or a person that angers you, but if they're still in your head, they are controlling you. Do you really want to continue to give them that control? Think about that. Do you really want that? No. That is why the practice of meditation is so powerful. Now, I do understand sometimes it just gets on a roll and the only thing you can do is just fall asleep and then just get up the next morning and just be like, done. Yeah, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. Okay, but really, once you know that that person is the one that has control of your mind and you're already annoyed at them, you're like, oh, heck no. You are not taking any more space in my life. Zero. Okay. So there is hope and freedom for you. Trust me. So I just want you all to know this, because listen to this. You become paralyzed in your own tormented mind when you allow yourself to create these thoughts. You become paralyzed. Like I was talking to my sister about that today. I was like, this person triggered me so much that I was like, whoa, I have so much to do today. I have so many things to do with my clients, my new business. I'm in the process of getting ready to cater a giant film, and so I'm like, my head has got to be in the game. I don't have time for this. This person has really annoyed me. And it's like, okay, do not let that person control you. Do not, okay? Okay, so what's the solution if you want to manifest freedom, greatness, and abundance? You must change the mindset of the internal locus of control, okay? Meaning the way you feel. So the internal is the way you feel. This is so huge. It's so important to understand that everything, vibration is a feeling. So it's the way you feel. How are you feeling? So you have to shift the way you feel. Okay? All right. And okay, and then get back in charge, like back in control. Okay? And know that whatever happens to you, you are going to take control of that, the way you feel. Okay? And you can shift your feelings. I mean, feelings come and go. I thought that if I had a feeling, I just had to roll with it. No, you can shift your own feelings. You can shift them so that you're in a healthier place, okay, and moving forward, all right? Okay, to do this, you must have to act and feel, okay, that you're responsible for what happens as you eliminate excuses and denial, all right? So you make things happen. So you are the master of your fate. You make things happen. You're taking control, okay? When you take responsibility, you take control, okay? You're the one in control. You're the king. You're the queen. You're the master. You have this. You can make it happen. No one else is gonna, it doesn't matter your past, where you're at right now. Your circumstances don't matter. You are taking control, all right? Your achievements, relationships, health, physical fitness, they're all in your control, all right? You can make this happen. So I just really want to encourage you all to take responsibility now, okay? So we're going to talk about how to take responsibility, and I have 2 steps for you all. The first step, okay, accept that you were created the way you are. This is how God created you, period. Love it, embrace it, make it yours. Okay. All right. You took the actions, thought the thoughts, created the feelings, and made the choices that got you where you are. Okay. So where you are, this is that you've decided to be here. And then take a moment, all right, to forgive yourself for the mistakes you have made. Just forgive yourself and let go. There's no shame in it. We all make mistakes. And you know what? If someone's trying to shame you, or if you have a friend or a love, or someone you thought loved you and they're ghosting you right now, and I've never really even heard of this term until this year, which means someone who's just ignoring you, they're not getting back to you, they're not calling you back, texting you back. It's like that is abuse towards you. Okay? If your heart is pure and you've been trying to connect with someone and they're just ignoring you, you do not need that in your life. You do not, and I say take responsibility now and just let go of it. Just let go. Do you know what I mean? Let go of them. You've done everything you possibly can. They're not worth your mental energy. All right? Take responsibility and just let go. Okay? Okay. You have to forgive them, forgive yourself, forgive them, those who hurt you. And I think also too, there's a lot of people who unknowingly hurt people. They really just don't know. And if you have taken the time to, to confront them about your hurt and they haven't responded in a manner that is healing for you, then you do not need to be around that. You do not need to be around that, period. People stay in relationships that are toxic way too long, okay? Like, you shouldn't be on the brink of suicide and then think, okay, maybe I should leave. All right? You are precious and you are beautiful, all right? Okay, and number 2, change your belief. Things just happen to me, to I make things happen, all right? You can make it happen. You're going to make it happen, all right? You got this. You got it. Yes, I believe in you, all right? Okay, I love this. Okay, so by sowing the seed, you decide that the nature of your outcome, and so you're going to just decide that it's going to be positive. Okay, law of attraction, what you put out is what you attract, what you're seeking is seeking you. My life is amazing. All right, right? My life is amazing. Okay, you got to think that. You got to take control. You got to know that you are worth the very best, right? I'm going to close with this thought, and then I have like a little exercise for you guys. Okay, so taking responsibility for your thoughts and your actions has to be a consistent and conscious effort. Okay, it's so crazy. Right after I wrote this book, I went to my publisher and I was like, whoa, we have to add this paragraph. They're like, we've already made all these copies, it's already published on Amazon. I was like, well, I don't care what you have to do, just like add this paragraph. Because it's transformational, right? We have spent our lives blaming something outside of ourselves for our failings. Society, parents, spouses, right? Religion, bosses, teachers, weather, the economy, everything. Okay, the list goes on and on. But the truth is, for whatever reason, we choose the path we choose. Okay, we choose it, okay? But now it's the time to take it back, all right? Take back what the enemy has stolen, all right? You have your whole life ahead of you. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you look like, where you're at right now in life. You can make that change, period. And it doesn't have to take forever. You can make that switch in your mind right here and now, okay? And tomorrow can be a completely different day for you, all right? All right, so you need to, what's really important is to choose a path to value yourself, okay? And get out of those toxic relationships. I give you permission right now to leave those toxic relationships, right? You're worth more than that. And do not ignore your intuition. If something does not feel right, it's not right. If something's going on in a circumstance around you, you need to have confidence in yourself to know that if something does not feel right around you, it is not right. If someone feels off, if someone doesn't seem on point, if something just does not, you all, I have seen the craziest things on the aftermath, and I've been like, whoa, okay, I knew something was off, but I couldn't see it. Like, I couldn't see it, right? In my soul, I could feel it, right? My intuition, right? I could feel it. Right? Okay. So don't hide those feelings. Don't hide that intuition. I know sometimes we want to believe that everything's fine because we just don't want to deal with it. We don't have the mental energy to deal with it. So we're like, if we don't see it, but let me tell you something. You were made for something great and something very, 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 very important. And if you constantly put a cover on your conscience like that, it's called being seared. You end up searing your conscience, and that's when you become hard, okay? And we're gonna let that go, because there's so much freedom when we let that go and we walk in our intuition and we stand up what's right for what is right. Okay. So the exercise that we have this week is every time you think a negative thought, all right, ask yourself, is this serving me in a positive way? If not, discard it into the mental trash can. Alrighty. I love you all so much. If y'all have any questions or concerns, if you're watching me on YouTube, go ahead and like this video if you liked it and share it. Also too, I go live almost every single day, and I appreciate you all being here so much. And if you have had this emailed to you and you have more questions and comments, you can go ahead and all my contact information will be underneath. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.